Hey, I'm Brandon, and today we are checking out the Shoei SRL-Mesh Bluetooth unit coming in at $360. This is a built-in unit. As you can see, it's actually physically designed to be built into these particular helmets. It is a Sena unit, but built for Shoei specifically, right? So it is built for the Neotec, the GT Air 2, as well as the J Cruise 2 helmets. If you do not have those specific helmets, this Bluetooth communication system is not the one for you. So just keep that in mind. There's plenty of standalone options within Sena and other manufacturers out there. However, this is built specifically for the Shoei helmet. So there's a lot of pros with that, and there's a little bit of cons as well. So one of the first things that I will mention as far as the pros go is that it's very low profile, and having it built into the helmet itself is very sleek. It just helps reduce any bulk or anything like that. Everything on the inside also has a specific location. You know, you've got routes for wires and things like that. So it just makes everything nice and clean, interior and exterior wise. However, let's say you want to get a different helmet, right? Well, you can't really take this unit out and transfer it to an alternative option. So that's really the biggest con with a unit like this. So just something to keep top of mind. I do like the versatility here, or the functionality, I should say, of these particular units, but because I bounce around between helmets so much, I don't know if this is going to be the best option for me, but it works really well, and I like that they're giving us an upgraded mesh option that accommodates these particular helmets in general. And just to give you some quick stats here, so the SRL-2, excuse me, that was utilizing 4.1 Bluetooth technology. It was around $300. That still exists. I'm sure you can still find that on the site. And then the SRL-Mesh system is utilizing Bluetooth 5.1 technology, which is a little bit better. It's a stronger, more reliable signal. But then we've also got the mesh incorporated as well with this new system, and that is a self-healing network. If you're not familiar, it's more seamless in comparison to Bluetooth, in my personal opinion, and most riders that utilize it. It's self-healing in the fact that if a rider gets out of range, it's very easy for them to hop back into your group communication once they get back in range. It's just a little bit more seamless, a little bit easier in comparison to standard Bluetooth. So I think that is worth noting. I'm glad that we've got the mesh network in here. You've got two settings with the mesh network. You've got open as well as group. And open, it's virtually limitless, the amount of riders that you can communicate with. I wouldn't recommend it from my experience. About 5 to 6 is probably the top amount of riders I'd want to communicate with, but you follow your heart on that. But you do have a group setting as well, so it will restrict the amount of riders that can join into your particular network, and those are all things you can set up and utilize via the Sena app. That's still sticking around, so you can control all of your communications there. Let's talk about the range, right? So the range is pretty important. They did increase the range on the mesh network by, it's a 1.2 miles of range, and the Bluetooth increased as well. It's also 1.2 miles, but the Bluetooth uses that standard daisy chain kind of style in comparison to the mesh network, but they were able to accomplish that with this little piece right here. This is really the only physical difference in comparison to the SRL-2 versus the SRL-Mesh system here, is this little antenna. Otherwise, from a physical standpoint, it's going to look virtually identical to the SRL-2 system that you might be familiar with. So that's the only difference there, and it gave them that additional range. And I did want to note, if you're used to utilizing other Bluetooth communication systems, those standalone units that aren't designed to be a built-in unit like these are for the Shoei helmets, this is a little bit more finicky to mount up. I like that everything has its place, and it mounts up very seamlessly once it's all complete, but it is a little bit more finicky. So grab a beer, find your favorite show, and take your time doing it. Make sure you don't tear any wires or anything like that. So just a note on that. The other thing I wanted to note, you've got your Harman Kardon upgraded speakers as well as an upgraded microphone. You can see the mic over there. They've got the boom mic on the inside. They're also going to include the wireless mic, or excuse me, the wired mic as well. For those of you out there using the GT Air option, you have the versatility with that. The other thing, voice commands. They introduced voice commands on this particular unit. We've seen that technology in the past with other manufacturers and within Sena's line with other Bluetooth communication units, but I'm glad that they're bringing it with the SRL-Mesh system as well. So you can say, hey Sena, volume up, hey Sena, next song, or you can reference Google, or you can say, hey Siri, but it allows you to make those fine-tune adjustments as you need to do so without lifting your hands off the handlebars. I use the voice commands quite quite a bit. So I do like that they've brought that to the table with this particular unit. But otherwise, it's going to share a lot of similarities as the SRL-2 system. A lot of upgrades, as we just covered, right? But you're still getting, you can still use the Sena app. You still got the charging cable is included. You've got fast charging with this particular unit, but a lot of the Bluetooth capabilities are going to be very similar in what it's offering you. And physically, it's going to look virtually identical, how it's mounted back here with the battery pack and things like that. So a lot of similarities, but you've gotten a lot of upgrades with the mesh unit and a little bit more distance as well. So I think a lot of people, if you like the SRL-2 system, or maybe you're not familiar with it, we've got upgraded speakers, upgraded microphone, upgraded Bluetooth. We've now got mesh. It's all seamless, very low profile, and works very well with these particular Shoei helmets. And again, keep that in mind. You've got the Neotec, the GT Air 2, as well as the J Cruise 2 for the SRL-Mesh Bluetooth communication system. If you're looking for more details, don't hesitate to click that info button. That'll take you over to the product page. I'm sure there's a lot to be covered here. Maybe I didn't hit everything. So if you've got more questions, reach out to our customer service team. They're all riders, more than happy to get you pointed in the right direction. But thanks for hanging out with us for a bit and taking a closer look at the Shoei SRL-Mesh Bluetooth unit. I'm Brandon. Keep it pinned.